All these rumors are fun to talk about, and Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargent's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying. Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructors battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina. I'm here with Steven and Christina. Tristan and Jason are otherwise incapacitated. Otherwise, they're sick and busy. So it's just the three of us. But you're going to get used to us because crew is changing.
Ooh.
And people will know about that in the foreseeable future. But things are changing at Cadillac. So let's start with that.
Indeed.
Colton Herta confirmed as their reserve. It's believed that he's also going to run an F2. That's not like 100% confirmed, but it would make sense for him to be their reserve if he wasn't going to pursue a super license, because at the moment he doesn't have one. So I'm assuming he'll be an F2.
For that seat? Is Cadillac paying for the whole thing?
I think so.
Because you've got to pay for your seat
think so,
F2
too.
and all your damages.
I mean, Colton could definitely afford it, but I think Cadillac would probably do the honors with that one.
I think a lot of the driver academies pay for it. Maybe they don't pay for all of it, depending on the driver, but they pay for a lot of it. So we'll
also
see.
at
But I think
Cadillac,
also like
everyone's favorite Alpine mechanic, Francis, has left Alpine, and he's now at Cadillac.
I did not know that. I've never.
I literally told you yesterday.
What do you mean by everyone's favorite mechanic? I've never seen this man in my life.
I was gonna say I think it's her favorite mechanic. But
If you go on TikTok, he's in like half of their
Everyone's
TikTok.
favorite mechanic is the Ferrari
He's,
guy.
slaying their
tattoo.
TikToks, guys. He's in their TikToks, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I love him." So everyone in the comments is always like, "Yay, Francis!" So kind of just went, everyone's favorite mechanic then. And now he's gone.
Now he's gone to Cadillac, but I think they learned from their mistakes. They locked down Pierre Gasly until 2028. Now, I understand why Alpine want to lock down Gasly until 2028. What I don't understand is why Gasly wants to be locked down to Alpine until 2028.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, dude's locked in the dungeon for another 5 years.
I think he's kind of
like,
stuck.
do you know something we don't?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, Chief.
I think he's there for the optimism of Mercedes engines for 26.
The photos they used were just him and Flavio Briatore. So who knows what happened in those conversations?
That is also true.
That is also very true.
I mean, I guess the good thing is, though, I mean, we've talked about it before, I feel like F1 contracts are easy to get out of than, say, like NFL or like other major league sports contracts.
Oh, absolutely.
So, all I know is for sure Simba content till the end of 2028. And that's all that matters.
I love Simba.
Good.
Simba,
dogs,
the paddock dogs are really slaying. Like Simba, Roscoe.
Yes, I can't wait for Lando to kidnap Max's dog. Max Utrell.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait for him to get kidnapped by Lando. Because he's got, after next week, guys, nice. He can travel.
Who? Max's dog?
Rio, yeah.
I didn't know that. This is news. Yeah. I don't follow Lando's Max very closely. So
I follow him when I can, but he was yesterday, he was saying, guys, when we get back, Rio will have all his jabs and his puppy passport stuff, so he can officially travel with them, if he travels with them.
There you go.
Well, you mentioned Flavio.
Yes.
Flavio was crucial in Crashgate. As we know, he was gone for a long time after that one. Just a little bit. But Felipe Massa spoke out recently. He's very, very confident that he will win his court case in October in England over the 2008 championship, which was affected by Crashgate. First of all, I think he's a little bit overconfident. Second of all, I want to know if you think, if he wins, let's just assume he's right and he wins. Does it open the door for Lewis to sue over 2021? And should he? Which I think is the more important question.
If he won, does that make Lewis a 6-time champion? Did I hear that right somewhere? Or am I crazy?
I don't
yes.
think so. I think it would insinuate, like everybody would. I think in public perception, yes. In reality, I don't think so. Because I think the F1 rules and the FIA rules is that it can't be changed once the next season starts. Mind you, this was 2008, so this is decades ago. But what I think he's suing for, if I understand correctly, is the monetary, like, the monetary funds that come with that. Because when you become champion, you get, like, there's the seat that comes with, it of, like, everyone wants a world champion to drive for them. There's partnerships that come with that and sponsorships deals and stuff like that. So there's a monetary aspect to it, which I think is what, at this point he wants some recognition, obviously, in the courts as well, that, hey, they screwed me in 2008 and I should have been champion. Now, realistically, as in, will he be known as the 2008 F1 champion? I don't think so.
Nah.
So, but I still think, like, would Lewis want his 8th in the public's eye? Like, enough people think that he's an 8, like, believe that he's worthy of the 8 or that he earned the 8. But, like, further than that, of, like, in the courts, is he going to pursue it? Do you think?
I mean, I think so. If Massa wins this, I think it would definitely set precedent for future cases like this. And I think if Lewis still wants it, I think, go for it. It can't hurt anything, really.
I think the only thing it can hurt is his perception.
I guess.
Why? Yeah. For what? Why? Like, it's over and done with. We've cried about this enough. Your fans have cried about this enough. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing about Felipe Massa, though.
That is true, but he also, like, I feel like Hamilton is known for taking the higher ground.
Yeah.
Like, for being the humble guy. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe give it another 10 years, then maybe we'll hit it.
After Crashgate, is that when Flavio Briatore went to, like, the Virgin Islands to, like, escape prosecution, or was that before?
I think it was after.
Okay.
I think it was after.
Okay. Just curious. Trying to remember.
But
interesting.
Either way, we don't like Flavio in that he's a great entertainment to our sport. We don't like Flavio in he's unethical and he's crazy.
He's entertaining.
And he's scary. Like, he genuinely scares me. Scares me
that's
sometimes. So, speaking of people that scare me, though, Stefano Domenicali is going to ruin the sport of Formula 1. Now, how is he going to do that? Well, he's going to do that by getting rid of Friday free practice sessions. He's going to do a reverse grid, and he's going to shorten races. Or that's what he wants to do. That is what is on the vote.
If we're getting rid of Friday, why do I not have classes on Fridays, guys? Why did I get rid of my classes on Fridays?
It's true.
That was my whole intent when I made my schedule. No classes Fridays. Can watch everything on Friday.
I just don't like. Just why? Like why? Like, what is? I
don't get it either, personally. Yeah, I mean, I guess just to try and make things interesting, make things different, but this is certainly not the way to do it.
The races don't need to be shorter. I disagree. Yeah. No.
I mean, this past weekend's race is Exhibit A.
Shortest ever race.
An hour and 20 minutes. It was crazy.
Hour 13.
13. Yeah. So it was. Our races aren't that long. Like, they're long. They can be long. Like, they can go up to the 3-hour threshold that they're meant to, like, cap at. With safety cars, with red flags and stuff. But in general, the pace of the cars they're pretty quick. So it's not we're racing for 2-3 hours plus. Usually 2 is like the very highest threshold. Usually it's like an hour and a half.
I do think
I get that we have small attention spans.
Okay with of this would be reverse grids, maybe, but only if they did it like F2 and F3, how they only do it during the sprint race. So it's less points. Shorter race. They do the reverse.
That'd be okay.
And it's also only the
only
top
thing
10
with that,
or 12, depending on which one you're in.
But if you introduce reverse grids for the sprints, you're getting rid of sprint quali, which means you're bringing back the practice sessions.
True.
Because what's the point of 2 qualies if you're going to qualify once? That quali is going to be a reverse grid, and then you're going to qualify again and have a real grid.
Well, then I guess if they did reverse grids, then they'd have to do quali for it all, but for the race before the sprint. So I think that just messed everything up.
I agree, and then I say that because one of my favorite things about the new format, I don't love sprint races, but I don't hate them anymore. And the reason I say that is because the new format breaks park permit conditions from the end of sprint quali, the end of the sprint race until quali. So the cars can still make changes. They can still change setup. If they see something obvious that they can switch, they can still do that. They still change strategies. So there's still a difference. Granted, it's not usually a huge difference, but there is still a difference in the grid and in the race from the sprint race to the actual race on Sunday.
Yeah.
If we make it one quali, even with a reverse grid, it's still going to be a very similar race. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like the thing is too, if you did reverse grid, I feel like you would take away even more initiative for drivers to take that seriously, you know, just because they would be like, oh, quality doesn't matter anymore, we have practice, I mean, it's gonna be flipped anyway, why does it matter, you know? I just don't know that it'd be worth the risk at that point.
It probably would. It would make quality interesting, and I'm gonna be honest, quality's stressed enough as it is without trying to change the format.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about why your quali was so stressful, Christina? Because it was great for me.
At the moment. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. We're gonna talk about it anyways.
That one.
I know, but we're gonna talk about
it right now anyways. We're gonna talk about it anyways.
You're gonna start with Q1, aren't you? I wasn't stressful till Q2.
Nothing happened in Q1. Except for Isaac going out in Q1, and I'm convinced
in Q1, Marina.
Right, but like nothing of notice, like nothing real happened. The only thing important about Q1 was the fact that Isaac Hadra eliminated himself, and I'm convinced he did it on purpose so that he doesn't have to go to Red Bull.
Yeah, I've showed you so many like memes about that. And everyone's like, I know it, but I can't prove it. The other thing was, I was very happy when Ollie did not stress me out, but I was like, Ollie, drive faster, because I needed him to make it to Q2, and he did.
And he did. He almost made it to Q3.
He did,
but overall, this was a weekend to forget for Ollie Behrman. So, but we'll get there. Let's talk about Lando's little deep dive into turn 1.
It was a strategy. Like
it was a little stressful.
What about it? Was a strategy choice. It was a strategy choice.
Yeah.
Everyone was confused by their strategy choice.
Honestly, I think they did what. But I think they did what everybody else did. They fueled for 2 laps, so you get 3 laps, I guess, because you get a cool lap,
a warm up
lap,
down.
right? A push lap, and then a cool lap. And at the end of your cool lap, you come back into the pits. Now they fueled for 3 laps. They didn't fuel for 4. So when he made that mistake and immediately aborted his lap, he had to come in because he wouldn't have been able to complete 4 laps, which messed it all up. Meaning he had to come out.
It did make things a little more stressful, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter in the end.
Oh, it didn't. And I don't think it was.
From the camera in our living room that I was very loud, screaming at the TV.
Yeah. So I was watching qualifying from underneath Beaver Stadium.
Nice.
As I was working, and
I was on my couch. It was nice. I was eating pancakes.
Was on the couch at our apartment, and I kept getting notifications from our camera, which is an indoor camera set to like monitor the door, and it was pinging saying sound detection every 5 seconds.
You act like Christina was yelling at the television. You watch TV.
It does happen almost every time we watch TV, but it was really funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it was as big of a deal. Granted, it was stressful for you as a fan. Fine. Yeah. But I don't think it was as big of a deal as all the commentators and the media made out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't truly think Lando Norris is not Lewis Hamilton. I didn't truly think he was going to mess up the lap at the end. I did think he was going to make it into Q3 like comfortably. So
my thing was originally
more stressful for Lando.
Lando hadn't crossed yet to start his fast lap, and there were 13 seconds left. And I knew the track was short, but like my brain wasn't thinking about that in the moment. It was just like, Lando, start your next lap. Hurry before the time runs out. And then of course the commentators don't help with that when they're over emphasizing how stressful it should be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The commentators also seemed to think it was over. Like, they didn't seem to think that Lando was going to make it to the line. Yeah. So, like, that was his, like, that was it. He's done. He's out.
My commentators said, well, Lando's got plenty of time to make it to the line. So what are you talking about? I was specifically told he had plenty of time to do another lap. I just needed him to hurry up and do it fast, and then he was doing it.
I wasn't.
You're making me slightly uncomfortable. Stop it.
Exactly.
But today was qualifying this week was like the epitome of like, let's wait till the last possible second to cross the line. Because Max did the same thing in Q3. Was like the last possible second. Everyone was done and he was last. What I don't get about go for it.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say the funny thing about that actually is when I was watching it, I totally thought Lando had gotten pole, and then Max crossed the line. I'm like, oh.
Clearly, the broadcasters thought that too, because they were showing freaking people clapping that I don't know who they were in the McLaren garage, and not.
I saw that too.
I am up to here with these directors and technical directors that do not know Formula One clearly.
Yeah,
we need like
it's a little bit of an issue.
I'm available, guys. If you would like
a job, like
put me in.
Yeah, we would like a job.
Yes.
I need a job. But no, that waiting till the last minute is just how they do it in like every single F2 and F3 quali, which I've been watching this season and
this isn't a new
season
thing.
too.
Yeah.
So like I kind of knew it was coming, but like at the same time it's like, why are we doing this? Every time it happens, you know it's coming, but you're like, but why are we waiting till the last second? Guys, don't do that.
I mean, there's not really a way to fix it either, really.
I feel like there's no like you said, there's no way to fix it. I feel like the difference, I think for us as viewers, is that I think typically the last people to the line in most quali sessions are those that don't. I say that it's in the nicest way possible. Those that don't matter. Like if I'm watching Q3 and Yuki is the last one to the line, I know he's not. Correct. Yuki's not going to take pole. I love Yuki, but Yuki's not going to take pole. So
it's the car.
Yeah.
If he's the last one to the line, like nobody really cares. We're already in the process of like celebrating whoever has pole or the top three or whatever. So I think that's a little bit of the difference.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't notice Yuki made it to Q3 until after Q3 was over.
You know why I noticed? Because I was 100% certain that Red Bull was going to use Yuki to give Max a tow. I also thought that Ferrari was going to use Lewis to give Charles a tow. Neither of which happened. They're both stupid. Max got pole anyway, so
that was the other thing. I wanted Charles to get pole because it was Monza, and it didn't happen. I know. Life is tragic, guys.
It was never gonna happen. I'm sorry, sweetie.
Unfortunately, literally after the race, Valsecchi was interviewing someone, and he went, "This wasn't our year, but next year is what the dude they were interviewing said." So it really was. Ferrari fans do always say, "Next year's our year." Any chance they get.
They're the Cowboys fans of
Indeed
of F1.
That's what Jack was saying the other day in class.
And they're going to keep being that way because neither of them are winning much.
Hey, but Delulu is the Salulu.
But,
I know we don't say that, but that is the answer.
The other thing I want to talk about in terms of quali for the last bit of quali before we move to the race is that once again, top 5 within 0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
I think we need to cut some people some slack because like commentators were going hard on Kimi Antonelli this weekend, and I was like, guys, you need to chill. You need to chill.
You know,
he is
after
close
the race, Marina,
to George.
the
It just doesn't seem that way because he's like
we're debating
2/10
about
off.
Kimi. Yeah, no. After the race, one of the commentators was like, "Well, he is a rookie. He's the youngest rookie out of them all." And the other one went, "Yeah, but he's older than Max was when he was like fighting for the big leagues." Yeah, and I was like, "Guys, either way, he's just a baby. Leave him alone. Just let him race."
He's a very expensive baby, is what he is.
I do, in a way, agree that it's very similar to like the Max like situation. He came in with a lot of hype. He came in replacing Lewis Hamilton with everyone saying he was the next Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
So it's obvious. But I don't think it excuses bad performance. But I also don't think that he's had ridiculously bad performances. Like,
well, the thing with Kimi is just that, you know, his development has almost been backwards because, you know, he started off pretty well, and now he's kind of having those growing pains that you expect to see at the beginning of his career in F1.
Yeah.
So I think people are looking at it now and just like, ooh, he's regressing.
Guys, still is
in reality, I think it's just
it still is the beginning of his career. He's only not even a year in yet. Let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like the point being like his early rookie season was better than his later rookie season. This like middle part of the season has been really challenging. So it's like he's developed. I think what Steven's saying is like it's his development is kind of backwards. Like he started off strong, now he's getting worse.
His bar was set so high at the beginning that it's just well, that too, yeah. Mercedes has not been too good recently. I mean, their engine development hasn't been great. The car hasn't been great, period. I feel like George is I mean, again, George is the same thing. He had a pretty good early season, and now all of a sudden it's kind of like, eh.
So again, guys, is it Kimi or is it just the car?
Why can't it be
nowadays
both?
Seem to just be the car.
Both. I think it's both. And I think like the same can a little bit be said about like Ferrari.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
When you're like great race, good job, and you're finishing 4th and 6th, you can tell that there's been a drop off within the team. So I think the same a little bit applies for the Mercedes right now. They're in a similar boat. Again, it's top 3 is for the most part 95% of the time taken. What can we do to optimize and be number 4? Or fight for number 3, which is what often happens with the likes of Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Kimi is trying to get there. But right now he's battling more at the bottom of that midfield, where I think what else is the other thing that's getting Kimi is the fact that the other rookies are outshining him desperately. Like
that too, yeah.
Gabby,
they've kind of had the normal kind of development curve.
Yeah, Gabby has been really strong. They had some updates in like Austria that really worked for the Sauber, and he's been really strong. Isaac started this race in the pit lane and scored points. So it's like he's being drastically outshined by the other rookies that are supposed to be in worse cars. Like he's the only rookie at a top team. And I think him and I hate to say this for you, Christina, but him and Ollie Behrman are the only ones that really aren't performing to any kind of standard, in my opinion.
They're just best friending. Kimmy's best friending so hard. He's sticking with Ollie. Okay.
I don't want to leave.
He's just they're just both best friending so hard, you know, that they're just like together on the grid. It's fine.
I'll do bad so we can stay friends.
We can stay close to
I
each
don't
other.
think that's how that works.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the race. Lap 1 through 4. Laps 1 through 4 were so deceiving as to this was going to be a great Monza race.
Unfortunately, yes.
I really thought it was going to be great.
Yeah. But,
I want to know what you thought about the start. Because you're both McLaren fans. So
like, I was watching it in a car trying to drive somewhere the first 7 laps. I had just left the stadium.
Are you admitting to distracted driving right now?
No, I wasn't. But I was literally had just left the stadium cleanup, and it was really, and I was tired, and I was trying to watch this, and I was like, "What is happening?" So I'm gonna be honest, I remember the start, but at the same time, I don't.
I mean, for me personally, like, I mean, I had hope that Lando could maybe hold it for a few laps. I mean, basically, I thought what happened was what was gonna happen. Just because I know I talked about it earlier in the group chat. Just Red Bull had the pace in the straights all weekend long. McLaren, don't do the greatest in the straights. I mean, yeah, they have speed, but not like McLaren. Wow, not like Ferrari or Red Bull. So yeah, just watching qualifying, Red Bull always had the pace in the straights. So once they got to the straights, I just felt like Max was going to pull away. Maybe not to the extreme that he did, but I feel like Red Bull had this in the bag all day long, just their straight speed.
See,
I think I
never had that kind of confidence on race day. I never have that kind of confidence on race day anymore. You
gotta have more confidence in Max, man.
I always have confidence in Max. Don't get me wrong. I literally bet last weekend that Max Verstappen was going to win the race, and he did.
Oh, we were bringing this up again.
However, that doesn't mean that I'm delusional enough. I am the most realistic Formula One fan you can find. I'm not delusional enough to think that the McLarens are just going to fall off the face of the planet. Hence, I went into this race very much like, ooh. And when Max gave the place back, I was like, oh, shit, this is the end. Because that's how it's been for 95% of the season. That was not the case today.
Stuck on Marina saying she's the most realistic F1 fan or something like that.
I don't think that's really true, but we can just go with it.
How is that not true? Hold on. Tell me one thing I said that's unrealistic. Tell me one thing I've said.
There's too many to pull out, to be honest with you.
Find one. Find one. Find one.
See, I know I'm Delulu. I'm self-aware, guys.
So am I. I'm not delusional.
I'm not saying you're delusional, but you're not the most realistic.
Out of the 6 of us, the 5 of us, absolutely. Jason's delusional about Ferrari.
I wouldn't say I'm delusional. Maybe I'm just being
You're delusional about Lando.
How?
I've been delusional about... Yes, you are.
You what both have I said that's been delusional about Lando, first of all?
I'm just a girl.
What? Like what?
You both think Lando is a good driver. You predicted Lando to win the championship.
Oh. I can't say Lando's a good driver now, and he's second in the Drivers' Championship? See, that's delusional thinking otherwise.
Yeah.
Do you think...
You can't say Lando's a bad driver, second place in the championship.
Easy one. This is an easy one. Is Lando Norris a better driver than Oscar Piastri?
Not right now, no.
Depends on the day.
Just yes or no. I don't want to know about right now. I want to know, no. Yes or no?
Well, it's not that easy of an answer, unfortunately.
It is. It's skill.
No.
It's not about results. I'm not talking about results. I'm talking about, is he a better driver?
Skill-wise, I would say no.
Okay, I would say you're not delusional. Christina? You're delusional.
I would...
Moving on.
The way I look at it...
I'm delusional. I'm just a girl. I want everyone I root for to succeed, and everyone I don't root for to do okay. What? Hating and booing on people is bad. I don't support it.
I do.
You learned this at the hockey game that we went to last year when I refused to hate on the other team because I was like, they're just trying their best, guys. Leave them alone.
This is like we'll very shortly sidetrack because we do this all the time on this podcast. We went to a Penn State hockey game together, and we were playing against, I can't remember what the school was, but the school is where it was not Michigan. Maybe Minnesota or Maryland. Maybe it was Minnesota. Our old goalie transferred to this school that we were playing, and we were heavily booing our old goalie because he left us, so he doesn't get to be supported by us.
He's just trying to improve himself, though.
People were calling him like saying you suck or you're ugly or whatever. Doesn't matter. Christina refused to say it. I said it every time. I thought it was funny.
It's not fun. It's not nice to hate and boo on people. They're just trying their best.
Anyways, back to the race.
I don't get it.
The second part,
never hated.
The
on
second part of those battles, we talked about Max and Lando. I want to talk about Charles and Oscar because I was rooting for both of them. They both pulled off wonderful overtakes. Oscar's around the outside. What?
I was rooting for both of them because I like them, but I was rooting for Charles more. I like him better.
Fair enough. But the overtake around the outside was stunning, and I think Julian Palmer, I was watching on F1 TV, he was like stunned. He sat there for like a solid 10 seconds being like, there's no way he just did that. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he was like asking me, he's like, did you see that?
Sorry about the bad commentary.
They were stunned.
We're shocked.
We were shocked. But at the end of the day, it was what you were saying earlier about Lando and Max's. Ferrari were so quick on the straights, but they had horrible corner speed. So there was nothing that Charles could do. Like, he was stuck. What I thought was funny was the commentators at the beginning of the race were saying, oh, like, Charles has very little pace compared to Lewis because Lewis was fighting through the field. But I was like, yeah, guys, Lewis is fighting a Sauber. Charles is fighting a McLaren. Let's get one thing straight. They're fast, but they're not that fast. And once Lewis caught up to that pack, he was at a standstill. There was nothing he could do. He just got stuck. Same as Charles. Yeah. They're kind of both in like no man's land together.
They're kind of just driving down the road, guys, in a circle. Or in a Mamma Mia handshake.
In an odd
hand symbol.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that that's how a circuit works.
Shocker.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Guys,
that was so funny. That was hilarious.
Trying to drive their expensive cars to the best of their ability, but their cars don't like them. My car doesn't like me sometimes either. I understand.
All right. So we talked about the first lap. After that, there's just like key points that we have to bring up. First of all, I thought it was hilarious that Yuki and Liam had a battle. Because Isaac is never he's always somewhere above Yuki for the most part. And Liam is usually somewhere way back. It's like it's essentially the same as like the Max and Yuki, where it's like Isaac is the superior driver and Liam is just like, wait for me, I got little legs.
Yeah, but I forget he uses it sometimes.
Have Red Bull used that audio yet on their TikTok?
I think they have.
If they haven't, they need to. I mean, they used the wedding ring audio today for Max.
They did. But they had their little kerfuffle. But as I was kind of referring to with Isaac scored points after starting in the pit lane, and Yuki started in the points and finished 13th. Again.
Oh, that's where he finished.
Hey, racing boys are better than Red Bulls, man. We've established this.
We've known
No. Yuki's got to go.
I don't know that it's Yuki, though. I really don't think it's him.
Hold on. How long do you make excuses for Yuki versus how long you would have made excuses for Checo?
Well, I would be the same thing for every number 2 Red Bull driver.
I'm not saying one is wrong or one is right. I'm just saying.
Like, it's going to be the same thing no matter what driver you have in that seat, I think.
But, okay.
Unless you clone Max, it's going to be the same problem.
True. That is true. But, hear me out. I don't think that Max is the car is the only problem. Max is the benchmark. Here's the bigger issue.
Sure.
Here's the bigger issue. And it doesn't just apply to Yuki. It doesn't just apply to Checo. It applies to every single second driver. It's the reason they have this issue. That car is slightly difficult to set up. More than just being difficult to drive, it's difficult to set up properly. Just a wee bit. Max will look at the data, but he'll take his feel from all of his experience and say, this is what I want to do. The engineers are going to be like, I don't know if that's going to work. And he's going to be like, this is what we're doing. And he's going to follow his gut. And 95% of the time, it's going to work out for him.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other side of the garage, they're not sure that Yuki can handle that setup that Max has chosen. They don't think they might think, okay, we don't think that's going to be the right call, but Max made that call and that's his choice. We're going to give Yuki the safe setup. And that safe setup for Red Bull right now isn't working. It's not fast.
I don't think Red Bull has a proper safe setup.
No, but like there's circuits in which they go lower downforce, for example.
Oh, sure.
Compared to Max's car, or a different rear wing that doesn't. It's not as quick, but they're hoping that at least Yuki can control the car that way and get somewhere. Whereas instead of giving him a faster car that he can't. Correct. They choose the safe setup for that track. The obvious answer.
Yeah.
And combine that with Yuki's lack of confidence, and he's nowhere. Whereas Isaac is only building up those big performances, so he has more confidence and he can make those bold overtakes. Also when he's fighting from the back. So I think there's like a combination of things.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I just think if you put Isaac in that seat, the same thing's gonna happen.
We're sidetracking because
I agree. We are telling
2 or 3 trophies. No,
I don't know.
You don't get it because his trophy broke. So some people are like, "I've got 3." Some people are like, "No, he's got 2."
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. He has.
I also saw him breaking the trophy, or the trophy breaking might have went against FIA regulations.
How?
Like the trophies aren't allowed to break?
Yeah, a trophy has to be regulated.
You cannot break.
Withstand like handling and slight like setting down and things like that. So when he just tapped it, theoretically, it might have been against FIA regulations. Depending on if that ends.
That's
after
breaking news: the Hungarian Grand Prix trophy has got a 5-second penalty for the next race for being for breaking regulation.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, like if you look it up, it's in like the bylaws or whatever you call it. That like they have to be a certain weight and they have to handle a certain amount of amount of handling without breaking and damages. So theoretically,
I would expect that. Like, forget the FIA rulebook. I would expect a Formula One trophy to have some type of give to it, to where I can set it down on the floor without it breaking.
Yeah. You would think
that is the minimum standard. We are in a $1 billion sport, $1 billion market, $1 billion industry. We can't make trophies that can't be set down.
We ain't talking about it in my sports class when we're talking about the top 25, like grossing sports and things like that with athletes and teams.
Yes, the economics of the integrity of pro sports trophies.
Yes, definitely.
My favorite topic.
I'll bring it up.
I shouldn't have a favorite topic, but for this podcast, the thing I've been most looking forward to talking about, and you guys know exactly what it is because you both know me.
I don't know what
McLaren pit stop situation. You know exactly what it is, Christina.
I love
this. I want to talk about this. I want to get your thoughts first. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get your thoughts first, then we're gonna come back to me.
I'll judge how you set it up.
Yeah, how we set it up, right? Lando is ahead of Oscar. He's second. Oscar's third. They're like, "Yo, we're gonna bring you in," right? Lando's like, "No. You can let him go. Be my guest." So they pit Oscar. Oscar has a stellar stop, 1.9 second stop. He comes out. He's chilling. Lando comes in. Horrible stop. Gets stuck on the left front. And he goes out and he's behind Oscar. So what do the team do? They're like, "Yo, Oscar, let him through, please." And then once he's through, they're like, "Yo, by the way, you're free to fight." I think it's wrong, but I'm gonna let you go first. And
I am honestly indifferent to it. To be really, I can go first.
Okay.
I'm totally like. Yes, sentimentally, I think it shouldn't have come to that. I don't think they should. I don't know. Yes, in principle, it's wrong, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's that deep. And I think Oscar realizes that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's P2, P3. Oscar has a couple lead in the championship. I don't think it makes a difference at the end of the day. I really don't.
Fair enough.
I think it was interesting, and all of the decisions were all made by the engineers. The drivers did not discuss this at all because originally they told Lando he was going to pit first, and he went, "No, let's hold back Charles and pit Oscar first. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll pit Oscar first. And they do that. And he goes out. And after that pit stop, Lando didn't say a word in the car until even after the race. He didn't say a single word. So even after the bad pit stop, they made that decision all by themselves to to switch him. And all they told him was...
That's what I will say.
They literally told Lando, they were like, we're going to switch you. And after you switch, immediately you're free to fight. So he was like, he knew all of that beforehand, and it was like, he didn't tell them not to.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, if you're Lando, I mean, what are you gonna do if you're Lando in that situation? You're just gonna be like, no.
But I think how they told Oscar was wrong. Because they were like, no way. Think about Hungary. Think about all these things that have happened. Just do it.
Me off so much.
I was like, guys,
I'm in no way
last year into this.
I am in no way blaming Lando in any way. Lando did what was right for Lando.
I know.
I'm not mad at Lando. I'm not saying like anything of that nature. Ultimately, in my opinion, Lando deserved second and Oscar deserved third. McLaren did what was the engineer. You're gonna be shocked to hear me say this, but look, McLaren did what was fair internally. Yeah. That is not. I'm not arguing that. That was fair. I think they messed it up. They did what was fair. What pisses me off is how far does this go? Because if you do the same thing in Abu Dhabi and they're tied on points, are you going to invert them? Are you going to ask Oscar to give up?
You've opened up a can of worms.
Are you going to ask Oscar to give up the championship? I don't think, and I say that because I don't think this is the way to go racing. I don't think they've been trying to make it fair from the very beginning, and I think that's wrong. Don't make it fair. Have the two teams go at it. That's how Mercedes did it. It may not have been great at the time,
make it, Marina.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't like this, like, whole, like, give up the position, like, let's go back. Or, like, even Oscar on the radio being, like, when he had that penalty, and he was like, if you think it's unfair, we should invert. The fact that he thought to say that tells me the team is not going racing the way I think they should go racing.
Yeah, and if
even Max was laughing at it. He was like, are you serious? Lando's racing with the wrong mentality if he's telling his teammate to undercut him.
I think the thing is, though, it's P2 and P3, and given the context, like, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying, I don't give a rat's ass if it's P2 or P3 or if it's P19 and P20. I don't care. I don't like, in principle, I don't like inverting drivers at all.
No, that's
fair.
That
might seem hypocritical, because I've definitely seen it happen with, like, Checo or Max or whatever. It's happened before with Red Bull, and I wasn't sitting here complaining. But
I think it just depends on the context.
I think the context matters in the sense that these are two drivers fighting for a championship. And for you to ask Oscar to give up position that he gained pretty much rightfully, he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Lando didn't do anything wrong. That was a team thing. I think it would have been better for the team to go to Lando and say, hey, we're sorry we fucked up. We'll do better next time. And the next time it happens to Oscar, the same thing's going to happen. Sorry, Oscar, we fucked up. It was Lando's. It was Lando got lucky. Yeah. I don't think that this is the precedent they should set, because then you get to Abu Dhabi and it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Marina,
that's an assumption.
Andrea,
I think if this was...
That's what he's doing. In a weird way, he was like, we did this because, he was already there. He gave up his spot. We messed him up last race, which I'm like, guys, that was last race. Let's not focus on the past. We move on.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think also the main issue probably people have is how they presented it to Oscar, because they were telling him all these things. Think about all these things, Oscar. And it was like, okay, but that should matter. And if you want to do they're racing, they want to race fairly and as two separate things, how like sometimes it's like we treat it as two separate garages, then you have to treat your pit stop like two separate garages, and you'd be like, oh, Oscar, the other team, which is not us, messed up their pit stop, and now you're this far ahead. So if they're wanting to keep that way, then that's not how this works. But if they're trying to one team again, fight for the constructors, I guess, even though I think they're way ahead of
I think if this was a P1 P2 situation, I think absolutely. Yeah. If
but it did happen. But it has happened. P1, P2, it has happened.
Once.
And that was the issue. They brought it up again.
They brought it up again. So they themselves listen, you're saying it happened once, it's not going to happen again. They themselves brought it back up in another incident. They brought it into relevance. Granted, I think fans would still be talking about it if they hadn't brought it up. But the fact that they brought it up is linking the two events, being like, oh, he had to give it up because they did it for you last year. I don't think that's the right precedent to set. Like I said, I think the right way to go racing in this scenario is you have two separate. It's basically two separate teams.
No,
right?
I agree.
The other team.
I think if you're in P1, P2,
you don't bring that in.
Problem number one was Lando having. I think Lando having the and I don't think this is Lando as a person. I think this is the affiliation and the environment they've created within McLaren. That is, we're all friendly. We're going racing friendly. We're papaya rules, whatever. In no way, in my head, should Lando have ever even said, let Oscar pick first. Lando should have been the first one to pick.
No, I agree what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. They should have said box, and Lando shouldn't even have thought of, let's pick Oscar first, let's hold up Charles. Lando doesn't give a rat's ass. In Lando's mind, if he's really wanting to fight with his championship, he shouldn't care if Oscar finishes third or fourth. He should want Oscar to finish fourth. And I think that the environment McLaren is creating of we're one team, we're racing united, whatever, is leading to that, which is then leading to these bigger issues of invert for second and third. Like, no.
But I feel like, though, in this race particularly, I feel like Lando was just probably in a place where, and McLaren is just probably in a place where they're like, we don't have the pace to beat Max. Like, what we do here, as long as he finishes P2 and P3, it doesn't really matter who finishes where.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
All I know is, I think if we didn't know this already, every team is a little toxic.
Fair. Oh, very fair.
If you didn't know that before this weekend, it is confirmed now. Every team is a little toxic.
Every team has their moments.
Yes.
No one is immune. Everyone has their moments. But I think it's a worthy discussion that we're having, but fans around the world are having of is this what we want to happen moving forward? Whether or not the answer to that is yes or no, that's a personal decision. It is yet to see what McLaren is actually going to do moving forward. But I would hope that all fans have the same thought process, that they don't want invert cars situation in Abu Dhabi for a championship fight. Yes?
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Cool.
If it comes down to that race,
if it's P1, P2, this doesn't happen.
I don't want to see it.
I'm not so sure
but I won't be
about
happy
that
watching
statement,
the race. I'm gonna be honest.
Why is that?
You don't think they would invert for the win? I think they would invert for the win.
I don't know.
I think the way McLaren. You said if it's 1 and 2, I think they would invert for the win. If they're 1 and 2, I still think this would have happened. If the exact same scenario played out, yes. If the exact same scenario played out,
I don't think so. Not in the championship fight.
I think they would.
I don't think so.
I think they would.
I really don't.
I'm going to choose my honest answer, and I have no idea. And at the end of the day, none of us have no idea what they're going to happen or what could have happened. If my mom had balls, she'd be my dad.
Fair enough.
Hypothetically.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of if and Max, Max won the fastest ever F1 race today.
So Orlando.
Lap.
He won. Lando didn't win.
I thought you were going to mention the fastest lap. That's why I said Lando.
I thought she was mentioning the fastest lap. Is that not what this is?
No, she's talking about the shortest race.
Shortest ever race is the fastest. Well, okay, let's be clear. This was not the shortest ever race. This was the fastest ever race.
Yes. Let's get our words
because
right
we've had races that are shorter in terms of distance, but not faster in terms of less than an hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
So, which I think is crazy. We went from a 4-race streak, which is one of the longest he had in a long time of not being on the podium, to a podium last weekend, and then coming and winning by 19 seconds with the fastest ever race.
It was 19 seconds?
Yeah.
I'd zoned out, let's be real. Seconds. I was done.
I think everyone was. We went back to the 2023 of Max leading by a gajillion seconds. Everyone
and that's
zoned
when I got
out.
into racing, guys, and I stuck around. And I'm not a Max fan. That shows I'm a true fan. But I was done today. I couldn't handle McLaren. I wanted to go home.
You and everyone else.
And I just kept getting texts from Marina, don't do it. Don't do it. And I was like,
well, as soon as the pit stop happened and Lando came out behind Oscar, Christina
said, I'm done, I want to go home.
Mind you, Christina was 2 laps behind me. Due to like lag and internet stuff. So when she said, I'm turning it off, and I had already seen that they inverted the car, so I said, just
wasn't physically turning it off. I said, I'm done. I want to turn it off. Like, I want to turn it off. And I said, just wait and turn this off, but I'm not going to. Anytime I say that, I'm never going to actually do it. I'm going to watch the race, but like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, but I said I was just like, just wait. I said, I know something you don't,
and I was scared.
And she was scared.
Anytime she said something, I was scared.
But it all worked out for her. So
did it though? There's controversy now.
It all worked out for you. It didn't work out for Haas because both of their drivers had a shit show of a race. Starting with Esteban, who got a 5-second penalty for forcing Lance off the track. His bestie, his own, arguably those two, like they love each other more than anyone else loves either of them.
Yep.
Yeah, but wasn't my thing funny? Bestie wasn't being a good bestie.
Yes, he was not being a good bestie. But more importantly, Ollie had that crash spin moment with Carlos Sainz, which was almost the death of me. My heart was
gonna say that was almost the VSC, and
I was like, "Oh my god, if this is a VSC, we're so screwed." I was like, "This is a safety car."
I wanted it to be a safety car, but at the same time, I didn't want Ollie to be out. But at the same time, my head was going that audio where it's like they're spinning like a ballerina.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was like synchronized spinning.
It was that. It's always the Haas's who do the synchronized spinning because remember last year. F1 posted the video with that sound.
Or was it not Silverstone?
It may have been. I don't remember.
They did a synchronized spin together.
Swim. Synchronized swim. We're doing synchronized swimming.
I will say, by the way, I hated the fact in this race particularly that drivers have to do more than one tire compound. Because I bet you, if that wasn't in place, McLaren wins the race.
They're like, if they could just stay on one tire, this would be perfect right now.
Yeah, McLaren would have easily won the race.
Oh, you mean if they didn't have to pit at all?
Yeah.
Oh,
McLaren
absolutely.
would have won. Easily.
I think Lando would have won because Max used his tires more.
Yeah, his tires were splitting too.
His tires were splitting. Yeah. Which is why he pitted, because if his tires weren't in the condition they were in, I think that they probably would have left him out. They didn't want to have to overtake cars or wait for others to pit to retake the lead. They would have rather lead every lap.
Yeah. Because I feel like
there were drivers who pitted on the last lap though. They They did every lap. Esteban did.
I feel like if the FA, you shouldn't punish teams for having good tire degradation.
I just think that it could create unsafe scenarios.
What?
Yes, but that's what the orange and black flag is for, you know?
No, like, generally speaking, removing the rule that they have to do a pit stop or, like, go on 2 different tire compounds. Because I think drivers would take advantage. So, because we've seen it with, like, the 2-stop versus the 1-stop of drivers, like, pushing the tire to the absolute limit to do the 1-stop instead of the 2-stop. Like, Charles did it last year. But this year, or, like, the 1-stop was obviously way quicker. I don't think anyone did a 2-stop.
Well, the tires were holding up better than they all expected to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But the Ollie, what was crucial, more than just, is this going to be a safety car, about the Ollie Carlos crash, was that Ollie got the penalty for it, 10-second penalty, and he got 2 penalty points on his license, which puts him at 10 out of the 12.
That's so crazy,
in his rookie season.
Everyone's
gotta be like a record or something.
Everyone at the beginning of the year was worried about Max getting a race ban, and I was over here worried about Ollie getting a race ban. I was like, guys, Ollie is flying under that radar, but he is so close to the sun. He's gonna get too close.
What's funny to me is I genuinely think it should be more than 12 for midfield drivers, because you're fighting with that many more cars. It's kind of hard to not have contact.
Yeah.
Or we should have more incidents that are just racing incidents that no one is completely at fault for. Because
you heard Oscar today, right? He said incident.
Yeah, I did see that.
I did see that. I did see that. The incident. I think he was trying so hard not to publicly shit talk McLaren, like so hard. Like that man smiled and he wanted to say these fucking assholes, but he didn't.
But I will say, Oscar is so
nice. Being a very good team player. I will say that.
Oh, absolutely.
That you're able to figure out his emotions through his non-emotions sometimes.
Yes, I have a question. How long is Oscar a team player before he leaves? How long can they ask him to invert?
Can we ask Mark Webber this?
I would say
that has a part
if Lando wins the championship, then I would say Oscar could be like, we need to have a talk about this. But if he wins this year, then I would just be like, okay, even if all this happens, still won the championship, you know. Like if it stops him from winning a championship,
at least for now, for sure. If Lando wins, I think he's gone, and it might even be
right away or after 2026.
Right away.
Where's he gonna go?
Well, that's the problem, right?
That seat is always open for him.
I don't want him at Red Bull.
Yeah, but does he? I was gonna say, does he want that spot with Max though? I mean,
I don't want him at Red Bull.
That would be worse.
You just lost it to your teammate based on favoritism. At least you know Red Bull's gonna let you fight.
Yeah, but with a competitive car though.
I mean, competitive is maybe.
I think he would have a better chance of winning a championship. Yeah.
Can we cross? We should cross the bridge if it happens.
We can cross it when we come to it. I was just curious. Because I genuinely, if I was Oscar, I wouldn't even be taking it at this point. I've been like, we're in a championship battle. Go fuck yourself. I've been saying fuck a lot today, but
at the same time, if you're Oscar,
what?
Like,
what did you say?
And I haven't.
Which is not all that common.
I curse more than Marina. It's just how
it works. I don't think I've ever heard you curse. That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy. No, Christina definitely curses more than I do. I don't curse in my, like, if you're having a conversation with me, I don't curse unless we're talking about Formula 1. When I get heated, when I get annoyed, when I get pissed off, when I'm talking about Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri or Max, then we're like, I have to really care.
Mm-hmm.
This is me showing that I care.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So, we don't have a race next weekend, so there's no predictions to be
had.
Christina gets to sleep in.
It's no fun. Marina gets to sleep on Sunday. I like
living large.
Living large. I get to sleep. Wow.
On this episode, Call Major gets a sleep schedule on a Sunday.
But next weekend we will have the new crew announced. And you'll see all the new people, which will be very exciting. I can do that. It'll be very exciting. So stay tuned for that. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We are all going to talk about it. Yes.
We can talk wags or life outside. We can talk about dogs.
Life off the track. Dogs. Talk about dogs. If you want to hear us talk about dogs
in the paddock,
stay tuned next weekend.
We can talk about,
but in the
we can talk about like Charles moving, Fernando moving, but not together. Not together, guys.
Not together. They're both moving to the same place, but not the same one. Like just the same apartment. We will talk. We can talk about all of that next time.
We'll talk chronically online.
Chronically in Willard. # chronically in Willard. We will talk about being chronically online as we are chronically in Willard, the Willard building, which is where the podcast studio is. If you missed the podcast studio and the podcast quality, we'll be back there next weekend. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. In the meantime, stay tuned on our socials at Let's Late Us on Instagram and TikTok. Bye, guys.